What's going on, you little gentrified brain wiggers? I got allergies, bruh, and one of my eyes is a little bit shorter than the other one. Fuck it, dude. And that's that type of music where something crazy is happening in a film, like they got the art and they're running out of the museum, or somebody's running through a tunnel wearing like a helmet, and they're looking for a bad guy or something like that. That's where the action is. And that is called Army of Angels. And that is action music. That's the sound that plays in your head when you are late for work and you're still trying to make a smoothie really fast in the blender, when you're throwing a bunch of shit in there and getting all fucking jazzed up, and you got the banana in there and you're trying to put some peanut butter in there and some milk, and you don't have any milk, so you're fucking putting water in there, and you're eating a jacked up fucking rural New York smoothie. Probably has 4 grams of protein, 70 grams of sugar, and that's what you're having. And that's the kind of music that's playing in your head when those types of things are occurring. Or at least that's how I feel, man. Welcome to This Past Weekend, guys. It is Monday, and if it sounds like it's April 24th, 2017, that's because it is. It is that date. That is where we are in time. And I have allergies, bro. I'll admit it, dude. I'm not the kind of guy who, just stands around red-eyed, with snot kind of hanging out of his nose like a couple of Asian fellas or kids hanging off the side of a bicycle or something. I got allergies, dude. I'll admit it. I got them. I fall victim. I can be a tough guy, but also I can fall victim to pollen. Really put you in your place. It really puts you in your place when you think you're a badass, and then you have to sit down and really gather yourself before you sneeze because you got issues with pollen. So that's where I am. I'm in Sacramento, California. I'm actually in the kitchen of a Residence Inn motel hotellery. And if you've never been to a Residence Inn, it's a very basic but comfortable type of place. It's your middle of the road type of motel hotel. And I've been here this weekend in Sacramento. Sacramento, good place, I feel like, to get socks, to get new socks, and maybe to get murdered. Or not murdered, but attacked. I could see somebody just hitting you for no reason in Sacramento. It kind of seems like the kind of place where karma is prevalent. It seems karma heavy. Like at any point you could get jacked or hit by somebody. Or a bird. A bird wouldn't shit on you in Sacramento, but it might come down and bite your fucking neck. Maybe a couple of blackbirds or mixed birds might fucking come down and, just slap you with their wing, or fucking rip a mole off your back with their talons. It's got that kind of edge to it. It's got like a hillbilly edgely. It's got that hillbilly edge, but also kind of a thug. Everybody looks like kind of like a mixed baby that grew up. But it's good, man. It's real people, and I love real people, man. And I think it may be the city where I ran into the most, like fans and friends, where I felt like a real connection. I mean, I just really, really relate to the people around this type of environment, man. So I had a great weekend, except for these allergies. Got daddy down. I'd rather be snotting out of my nose than out of my pecker, though. That's the old saying, I'd rather have allergies than sexually transmitted diseases and that, and no offense if somebody has those, Some of that's part of nature. Excuse me. But yeah, if you can see on the YouTubes, I'm in the kitchen right now of a Marriott Residence Inn, and I've got some new dates for you. I'm coming to Phoenix, Arizona in 2 weeks. You can come and get a look at my straight up D. Not really, but you can come and be a part of the show, man. I'd love to have you come out. That's May 5th and 6th at Stand Up Live in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm really excited about that. May 25th through 28th, I'll be in Tampa, Florida at Side Splitters. June 1st through 4th, I'll be in Pittsburgh at the Pittsburgh Improv. June 23rd and 24th, New York City. I hope to catch up on jump on the Opie show there as well. And then June 30th, we are doing a fundraiser show in Wyoming, Illinois. It's a small town. The tickets will go online this week for that. It's about an hour from Peoria, not too far from the Quad Cities. So if you're in Illinois and you want to come check that out, or you're in Iowa, come on over. It's gonna be a really good time. Small town show. I'm excited about that. All right, man. Let's get into the weekend, man. It was it's been a chill one. You know, I'm at this Residence Inn. I got into a little bit of a fracas at the pool here. They got some guys, I guess, been staying here for about a month. You know, some dude who's real, like, tall, like, beer belly, like, almost amazing amount of beer belly for his height. And he just talks. He knows everything. And he was grilling, bro. He's been grilling all weekend at the pool, who uses the grill at a fucking Marriott Residence Inn? I didn't even know they had a grill. And this dude's out there. He's inviting friends over. They got some lady, like an older lady out there twerking, maybe about 48 years old. Blonde hair, party. Just kind of shaking her, just like not really shaking her, just kind of bending over and holding onto a table and then just shaking everything. It's one thing to kind of shake your ass and do that fancy ass work, and to really get yourself, gyrating. But it's another thing just to kind of bend over and just fucking move your whole body at once. Like, it's not the same. It almost looks like somebody's hurt or something, like they got, like their whole body is itching, but they're not allowed to scratch it or something. Like they've been told they can't scratch themselves. So they're just trying to scratch their body against the air by moving their body around. So that's kind of what this lady was doing out by the pool. And of course you got all these fellas drinking, and this dude's fucking grilling potatoes, I don't know, man. I mean, I've been in some pretty gutter shit, but this dude's out there like this. Fucking know-it-all grilling patatas, So I'm trying to go in there and talk to him. They were just kind of ruling the pool. I guess I got a little mouthy. But things calmed down. And it was just awkward. It's awkward to see somebody, grilling out at a Residence Inn. But here I am, man. Here I am. I'm in Sacramento. A lot of missing people. A lot of people here look like missing persons. I put this on Twitter yesterday, and everybody here. I kind of, I love those shows where people are missing. I've always been a fan of missing people, of buried treasure. I can't even sleep at night really, unless I've seen a new episode of a show where somebody is missing or where there's a treasure that hasn't been found. I just have an obsession with that. I found some fingers in the woods when I was young, and so maybe that spurned some of that behavior. But that's always been a part of my life. I love the missing. So if you are missing, or somebody that's missing, dude, I'd love to hear about that. Or if you know somebody that went missing, we can talk about that next week. I'd love to know if you've ever been missing as well. If you are someone who went into hiding, or who decided to skip out on, a prison sentence, or, hide from their family or something like that. I'd love to get to, I'd love to have you call in, hit the hotline so that I could get into that and learn more about what your life has been like. We're getting close to having some guests, guys. I hope next week to have a guest. So I know I bring things up on the show that I want to do. I appreciate you guys bearing with me. It's a struggle because some of these weeks on the road keep popping up, and I'm in a fucking kitchenette. Okay, if you're on YouTube, you can see me. I'm taping this shit. I don't even have my mic stand. I have the top of it, but not the bottom. I have this thing propped up in a coffee pot that I took the top off of. So we're doing what we can. I got allergies. I just want to shoot myself in the fucking head with an EpiPen. Anyhow, 985-664-9503. If you are missing or if you know someone who has been missing, I'd love for you to call in. I remember when I was young, we were playing hide and go seek, and a boy went and hid, and they never found him. No one ever found him or heard from him. So I sometimes wonder what happened to that boy. What else, man? I read this, dude, that they had some conjoined twins. I believe they're from Mexico and now living in Connecticut. That's a real juxtaposition, I think. I don't know what that is, but that is, and they don't want to be separated. Conjoined twins refusing to be separated. And you know what? It made me feel good when I heard that. Because I'm tired sometimes of us doing whatever science kind of says we should do. The doctors tell them, well, you have a better chance of living if you separate. But, but what's their life going to be like, I mean, I look at, I'm not in this scenario, but I just, I think it's kind of beautiful to stay in it, to stick it out. You're conjoined, you got you can high five yourself, but somebody else at the same time. There's something beautiful about that. And to know that that you're in this together through thick or thin, there's something beautiful about that. That, don't separate us. We're going to see what we can do. We're going to make it through this together. I think that's pretty beautiful, man. So that story really resonated with me. I hope they stay conjoined. I hope they stick it out. And you know what? If they go to heaven, they go to heaven together. And I think there's something beautiful about that, man. It's like when somebody gets, it's like if you had a little person that was hooked on to you and you got them cut off. I wouldn't do that. I'd say we're ride or die, This is my friend's shotgun, and we're going into life together. Thought that was interesting. Another thing in the news, I saw the Confederate monuments in New Orleans, and I know this has been happening in other cities, are being taken down. There's been a lot of issue back and forth there about these Confederate monuments. Robert E. Lee, other Confederate statues and soldiers, that it's a racist, that people feel, and predominantly black people, but also black and white people feel that it's not, that you see this leader of a Southern army and that it's racist. And I can understand the rebel flag. Like, I get that, because there are people that really associate that heavily with racism. But I'm just not a proponent of bringing down the Confederate statues, because if you're going to do that, then there's statues in New Orleans where there are like slaves. There's slaves, and it talks about when indentured servants and slaves came to New Orleans. There's some, I believe, in the Mahalia Jackson Park right there in Armstrong Park. Then I'd like to see those statues gone, because I don't want to remember that. I didn't have anything to do with slavery. I'm sorry. I think it's horrible. I wouldn't probably want to be a slave, I don't think. I mean, maybe in some instances, but not overall. But it's like, when do we just, do we just take everything away that bugs somebody? And I know that, remembering slavery isn't bugging somebody. It's bigger than that. But, I don't want to see things that remind me of negative stuff, I just feel like we're headed down this road where we're never going to get to a place, where everybody's happy, you know? Like I never walk down the street and am totally fired up, you know? If we're doing that, then get rid of all my ex-girlfriends, you know? Get rid of the dude that used to make me bury his poops in the yard when I was growing up. He passed away, so that's a moot point. But like, at what point do we stop, getting rid of just anything that bugs us? So I don't know. I don't agree with that. I agree with taking down things that really are surefire of racism. But the South had its own army. I feel like having some tradition is okay. I just feel like because at a certain point we're headed down a road that you're never going to be able to do it all. Let's completely erase history then, because history's always pissed somebody off. Something pisses somebody off everywhere. What else, dude? I've been thinking about the future, man. And I want people to call in too if they have some thoughts about this. The future, dude. And you know what I'm talking about. What's next. And it kind of spooks me out, bro. I feel like we are I almost dropped my phone in the pool here at the Residence Inn. And I flipped. I felt my whole body kind of seizure up. And I was like, wow, I don't really get that feeling unless it's my phone, if I saw a friend fall in the pool, I'd be like, they'll probably be okay. Not knowing if they could swim or whatever, they'll probably be all right. But when you see a phone about to go in, you're like, oh my God, it's going to die. That's what I felt like. It's going to die. As if it were more than a machine. That's what concerned me. I was like that I thought of it as more than a machine. Anyhow, so I'm just a little bit worried about the future, man. When do we stop technology? At what point do we shut it down? When it's not it's not helping us anymore. When is that? I can understand in some fields, in some of the medical fields and stuff like that. But when do we, self-driving cars, the trucking industry, they say, will be gone. Cross-country truckers, a lot of stepdads, probably a lot of stepdads doing that work. When does that end? Because if we allow self-driving cars, then you just have thousands and tens and hundreds of thousands of men and women that are going to be out of work. I don't see the benefit there. At what point is it not helping us to be human? I feel like we're there right now. I'd love to know some of you guys' thoughts on that. I feel like we're at a spot in time where technology isn't helping us as humans anymore. It's just helping us to create basically machines and a future that has us not as really a big part of the picture. So that's where I'm at with it, man. I have a lot of concern there. I also think that TVs are too clear. I'm watching this the other day. I'm trying to watch something, Dances with Wolves, the movie it's about a warrior whenever he goes to, he meets a woman and somebody has fucking wolves, I think. I can't even remember. Guys, it's 3 a.m. I'm a little bit out of it. But, bro, the movie was so clear. I felt like I was watching home videos from Oklahoma, of a Civil War reenactment. I'm like, it didn't hold, it wasn't the same. So I just wonder if anybody else feels that way. Am I the only person who, I just think televisions are too clear? I want to know that it's a story. I don't want to feel like I'm looking into a weird window where it doesn't seem like a story. So those are just some of my thoughts on the future, man. That's where I'm at. I know I'm rambling a little bit today, guys. I'm gonna get through this. And I want to apologize too, man. I know that I've said again that there's some things I want to do with this podcast. I want to get to some other levels. I want to get some guests. And I haven't gotten to those things yet for you guys. And I want to. I had a a guy this weekend at one of the shows, and he was really nice. After the shows, we were talking. I met a lot of great people here in Sacramento. Went downtown, beautiful downtown. But I met a guy, and I was like, he's saying he likes the podcast. And I said, well, thank you for listening. I'm trying to figure it out and trying to figure out what I'm doing sometimes. And he goes, just do what you say you're going to do. That's what he said. And at first it kind of struck me a little bit like in a strong thing to say. But then I was like, he's right, man. If I'm going to connect with people and I'm going to want to share and have, listeners share with me, I got to do the things that I say I'm going to do. So I do want you to know that I'm making an effort, that I'm trying to get it done, that I'm trying to create, good, legit content for you guys where we can, move forward and learn some shit together. It's been a rocky year for me, with the Native American child that could have been, that kind of sent my feelings into a whirlwind, with the electrocution, with just the belittlement out there in Los Angeles, being a Southern guy. They don't want us. They don't want us, man. They want to take down the statues. They want to take down the humans, I feel like, a lot of times. But I'm going to try to do the things that I say I'm going to do.